right here, we're going to put some blueberry bushes in pots, and we're going to show you the process. We have drill bits, peat moss, drill, some Dr. Iron, some pine bark, some compost, or manure, actually composted manure, 3 blueberry bushes, cutting tool, 3 Ace Hardware 5-gallon buckets, some soil acidifier, and 1 bag of potting soil. Okay, first thing is to put some holes in these buckets. Okay, the biggest one I have is a 1/4 inch, so this is what I'm going to use. One bucket down, and you can see I've put basically 9 holes in this. Okay, so now that we have all of our holes drilled, we're going to mix what we're going to put our blueberries in. So, I'm going to start with the 2 bags of peat moss. Now this is Canadian sphagnum peat moss. And I realize this might be a no-no to some people because of sustainability. But here she goes. I already bought it. I'm going to use it. Bag 1. Bag 2. Potting soil. 1 bag. All right. Compost. bag of compost. We're going to have everything we need here for those 3 buckets. Yeah, I think we're going to have everything we need because we're going to top it off with some pine bark once we get them planted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this soil acidifier and I'm going to put a couple of handfuls in. I'm going to take some Dr. Iron and put a couple of handfuls in. And then I'm going to take my trusty hand trowel, fork, thingamajiggy, and I'm going to mix this. Well, actually, we're going to go all in with our hands. And we're just going to try not to make a mess. Maybe it's too late. Okay, so we have 3 different kinds of blueberry bushes here. So let's look at this one first. This one is blue gold blueberry. You can see it's nice pretty leaves. I bought these from Braintree Nursery, got them in the mail, shipped in very well. So let's see what we got here. And these are good pots, I will be reusing these. Oh, let's see, oh yeah. You're right about where I want you to be. So let's fill in around you. Now, to make sure that we got some acidity going on, I'm going to take some of this pine bark, put this around you. Now, we made one mistake, which is I didn't move this into place before I did this. So we're probably going to move it to the quickest place we can, which is right over there. So this one is pink popcorn. Doesn't that sound fun? Pink popcorn. So let's go ahead and put it in this container here. Oh, we're going to need a little more. So let's get some more in here. And finally, well, there's the cutting tool. This is pink lemonade, the same as the one over there. Pink lemonade. And here's a picture of what it's supposed to look like. I tasted these guys. These are great. Okay. Blueberries planted. So in this area we have our blueberry bushes, but they've kind of grown up. So I'm going to clean this out and I'm going to fertilize them. Now the soil here is very alkaline, not the ideal conditions for growing blueberries. And I have tried to treat the soil, but I'm going to go through and do something a little different. Saw this somewhere, so we're going to try it out. So here I have a gallon of water, and I'm going to add a cup of vinegar. As you know, vinegar is a weak acid, and hopefully it's going to bring down the soil pH just a little bit, and a little bit is really all we need so that we can get our blueberries into optimum condition. Now these 6 blueberries I planted last spring, so hopefully this year we'll have more blueberries. Now you all haven't seen Frosty in a while. Frosty has leaves that are eaten by bugs, still has our 2 lemons here. So I'm going to go ahead and fertilize Frosty, and I'm going to add some of the vinegar water as well to hopefully get Frosty to uptake the nutrients she needs. So I have a handful of triple 13 that I'm just going to put around the edge. Then I made a mixture of iron, calcium nitrate, and magnesium sulfate. And we're just going to put that around. You don't need it on your leaves, Frosty. Alright. And then I have my vinegar water, just like we put on the blueberries. And I'm just going to water it around Frosty. Hopefully get that pH to where Frosty can uptake those nutrients. Hopefully Frosty will bud out some new leaves, and I'll get to pick these lemons, which are a nice size, later on. Beside Frosty is this lovely lime that I bought, and you can tell the lime is doing just fine, so I'm not so sure why Frosty is having such trouble, and our friendly Persian lime here is not having so much trouble. Actually, Frosty gets more sunlight than the Persian lime does, so I'm not sure what's going on here. And then we will be taking out some of these limbs so that the Persian lime gets more sunlight. As you can see here, we had to cover our peppers and our eggplants and a couple of tomatoes that came up as volunteer to avoid the cold weather, but it's going to be nice for the next couple of days. So we're going to go ahead and uncover it and show you the garden. There's our 2 onions that are volunteers. Here we still have our eggplants going, a few blooms on them. Let's look a little bit further down, or actually behind these 2. There's our tomato plants. We've got 2 or 3 of them that are volunteer tomato plants. And behind them we have our brassicas, which are broccoli and cabbage. It looks like our peppers made it. However, you can see a little bit of damage from the temperature. Let me show you. Do you see the color on this pepper right here? Do you see how it's kind of browned over? That is because of the lower temperatures, but it did survive. In the background here we have turnips and pak choi and broccoli. Here are our carrots, and they seem to be doing well.
Here's the wheat. The wheat has grown about 6 to 12 inches. It seems to be doing good. This is totally experimental. Here are the English peas, and I am going to be picking some of these for supper tonight. You can tell that the seasons are changing by the color change in the leaves. This tree usually changes leaves in late November. And here is our lovely azalea blooming a second time. Have a wonderful week full of bountiful blossoms and blessings.